Okay guys, I get questions all the time about strapping, bridging, whatever you want to call it. I think bridging is actually different than strapping. Something weird. Some amps can do it, some can't. There's different variations. So in this case, I've got two Hyphonics BRX 2000.1Ds. These guys put out a 2006 CEA compliant 2000 watts at 1 ohm, 1400 at 2 ohms, and there's also a 4 ohm rating, but hey, let's be serious. Why have I got big boy subs in the back if I'm not going to be running at least half ohm, 2 max, right? So anyway, cool thing about it was if you have an amp that is strappable, you have a master always, and then you have a slave. Now what makes them strappable is this situation right here. So on the back of this amp, if you notice, you have your RCAs going in. If you notice on the back of this one, you don't. You've only got one RCA, right? Okay, pay attention to that. This guy is the master. Basically, your subsonic filter, low pass, all your settings, gain, boost, all that mess is gonna be on the master. Now, why is this RCA sticking out right here? If you notice right there, there's a switch. It has 2 positions, slave and master. On this one, it's set to master. So that means that this master amp, this first one that your RCA is going to, is gonna control all your settings, get your RCAs from the back of your head unit, and in this space right here, you're gonna have an out and in. If this is on master, you wanna put the signal out. Not only does that RCA carry also the music signal to this guy, it's cool because it almost acts like a information cord, like a Cat 5 or something like that. So not only does it have the audio signal, it also carries all the data. All of these dials, all of that data is being carried in this guy right here, which is rock solid. Also on this one, instead of putting this RCA in, that's getting information, again from the master, you're gonna put it on the slave. So again, we have the master, who you set everything on, you run your RCA out, the position is out and on master. On this guy, of course, you put the RCA in the in slot. Now where the RCA is coming out on the other one, it's gonna be this bottom one out. But we want the information to come in, and we want to change this switch to slave. If you notice, it doesn't matter what you do with any of these dials and knobs, it's not gonna matter. All of your information again is set on this. One of the biggest advantages of doing this is the fact that my RCA volume controller knob, it's not a bass boost or anything on the Hyphonics. It's actually an RCA volume, kind of like voltage. It's controlled on your master. I have that guy up here. So essentially when I turn it, both of these guys are basically like one right now. Have them strapped at 2 ohms. So basically I have 4 DVC 4 ohm speakers back here. Have them wired together, it's 2 ohms total. So if I have 2 amps and it's seeing 2 ohms coming from the speakers, that's gonna divide 1 ohm apiece. Originally I had these guys, or I have 2 NVX VCW 124 12-inch woofers, had them wired at 4 ohms. So that'd be 2 ohms apiece. These guys put out 1400 watts each at 2 ohms. That's 2800 watts max. These guys at 1 ohm apiece, which they're at right now, is 4000 watts combined. 1 ohm apiece, 2000 watts. Together, 4000 watts. But based on the RMS rating of my speakers, I have these guys tuned down to 2800 watts max RMS. Also have an O-scope, voltmeter, all that mess. Now, what you do is you take your negative wires off each amp, and I'm using big, like 8 gauge, and you connect your negatives. So here's the negatives. You take your negatives from this side, and you connect them to the negatives on this side. So your negatives are connected. Everything else, your remote, power, ground, all that mess is exactly the same. Then from your master amp, you take your positives that you would usually just run straight to the positive, and you actually end up doing the same thing. So again, our negatives are connecting each amp, negative to negative, and the positives from your master amp, again, the one that gets the RCAs, the one with the control knob, the one that you do all your settings on, the positives from it actually go to the positives on your speakers, which is an awesome thing. Then this is what's crazy. Take notes, pay attention. The positives on your slave, remember, that's getting the information, the positive channels from it are actually your negative. So at no point when you strap do you use the negative channels to connect to the speakers ever. Negative, both of them, connect to the negative on the master. Now the positives from the master are your positives, and the positives on your Slave, you connect to your negatives. It is confusing. Take some notes. It's really not the hardest concept in the world. It did take me some time to try to figure it out. Did a lot of research. Wasn't very much documentation on it for the Hyphonics one. All amps are different. If you see a switch on the back of yours that says Slave or Master, then you know you can do it, which is awesome. It's a lot easier to tune them like that. I might even put up a video where I'll show you guys how to tune them with an oscope and a voltmeter. Basically the same thing. But cool, if you guys got any questions or comments or anything, holler at me down in the comment section. And excuse all the messy wiring. I know, you guys are gonna hate, but is what it is. This stuff does not move, it's rock solid. Cool, y'all let me know.